Hey guys, it's Julie from Julie's Designs. Today is another thrift flip video where I take items and upcycle them for resale. Today, we are once again using drop cloth. I cannot get enough of these drop cloth projects. I could literally just come up with ideas for this all day long. I mean, it's already has that vintage farmhouse look and it's cheap. So it doesn't get any better than that. So today, we're gonna do two projects, but a few weeks ago, I did a video where I did 4 drop cloth projects, and I'll put that in the link in the description below in case you also want to check that out. So we're using drop cloth. I personally get my drop cloth from Harbor Freight, but any of your local hardware stores should have it. And then I'm gonna be using fence boards as well. And then I'm gonna be using these embroidery hoops. Y'all, I have an embarrassing amount of these. Like, it doesn't even make sense. And somebody in the Julie's Designs and Signs Facebook group posted an idea with the embroidery hoops and the drop cloth, and I'm like, I need to make that. I need to get some of these out the door. I have way too many. I have lots of ideas, but I feel like my ideas are kind of very custom. Like, I have a huge one hanging up over the baby's bed that is so adorable. I'll post a picture of it. It's so cute. And I've done other custom ones. So this is a way that I could make something a little bit more generic and kind of get some of these done because yeah, I have way too many. So let's go ahead and get started on these projects. I want to keep this project very rustic and very simple and do these as quick as possible to keep the price point low. So I'm just using fencing, the same thing I use for a lot of my projects, but this fencing is very, very rustic and rough, so it's not something I'd be able to paint words on. So I feel like this is a perfect project to use this kind of more weathered wood. And you can add a little cross brace if you want for extra detail, or in this case I had a crack down in the middle. So just to ensure that this piece stayed together, I added this and I do like the way it looks. And then I simply just drilled 2 holes in the top to add a little hanger to this piece. Now I have 2 different ideas that I want to try out. This one is 16 inches and then this longer piece is 28 inches. So we're going to try out 2 different things for this. This is the string that I use. You can just get this from Walmart. I like it because it's a little bit more tightly woven than the string from the Dollar Tree. So it's good to use when I'm wanting to add a hanger to a piece. So you're going to grab your drop cloth and put it over your piece. I like using a side that's already hemmed on the drop cloth just for a little bit of a cleaner look. Then you're going to take your fabric scissors and just cut it to size. You want to lay it across the top of your piece just to make sure it's nice and even and exactly where you want it to be and the size you want it to be. Then you're going to turn it over and you're going to use your stapler and staple your drop cloth into place. I love the stapler. It is the easiest one I found to use, and I do have it linked in my Amazon store in the description below. And then the bottom part you just fold over just like you would a present, staple it in place, and then I like to take my hammer and just go over my staples just to make sure they're secure in the wood. And this piece is already done. How simple was that, y'all? So for this longer piece of wood, you want to cut 2 drop cloth pieces approximately the same size. I am using the hemmed edge once again. And then at the bottom, you want to do exactly what we just did to the other board. Make sure it's straight, turn it over, staple it. Now, I did mess up here. I didn't leave the bottom long enough. It's definitely much easier to fold it up when you have more fabric to work with. So you can see I struggled here to fold up the fabric, but I had just enough to make it work. So just make sure you leave yourself enough room. Now, I wanted to keep the price point low on this. I wanted to be a project that was really quick and easy. But in the next clip, I will show you ways to embellish this. And of course, I couldn't help myself. I had to add a little bit of embellishment to it. So I will also add a few dollars to the price point the more time I spend on these. For the second piece of drop cloth, I'm just kind of eyeballing where it needs to be, and then I'm going to run a row of staples along the bottom. This is creating a second pocket, and I think this is so cute to have one pocket for floral and another pocket for something functional like
mail or papers or something like that.
I want to show y'all different ways to possibly embellish this. I think a stamp, of course, would be adorable, but not everybody has a stamp. So look through your stash and see what you have that you can use to embellish this. If you wanted to add in more, because it totally looks wonderful just by itself with the drop cloth on it. So if you have ribbon, you could add a stripe. This one's pretty close to the drop cloth color, but I think, you know, this looks good. Or if you had a different color ribbon, look, a pretty piece of lace at the top just for a little added detail. That's so cute. If you had a doily to add over it, that's so pretty. And I think if you painted the board white, or even if you didn't, I think the ticking stripe looks so good. I think it would especially look good if the board was painted white. You could even add some burlap for a very, very rustic look. This is probably my least favorite because that's like just a little bit too rustic for me. Okay, this one's my favorite, and I might actually have to do it to this one. But look at this lace, how pretty. I have so much of this lace because this is what we use for my sister's wedding on the runners for the table. And it's beautiful. I think I might be adding this to this one. It's so pretty. But the options are endless. Just look at your stash, get creative. I love when y'all just copy my design exactly, but I especially love when y'all just take the inspiration and run with it and come up with your own version of my idea. So for the second project, you're going to need an embroidery hoop or a cross stitching hoop and your drop cloth. Now for this one, I'm going to cut two pieces, but one piece I'm going to use the hem on the drop cloth, and the other piece I'm going to use a raw edge, because I know it's shocking, but I actually tried one of these off camera before I decided to film it. And I was not able to close my embroidery hoop with two hems. It just makes it too thick. So you just want to cut out two pieces, one hemmed, one unhemmed, or you could do two unhemmed if you want it. Whatever you want to do. Then you're going to open up your embroidery hoop, and then you're going to place the drop cloth inside, and then put your other piece of the embroidery hoop on top, and then push it down, and sandwiching the two pieces of drop cloth in between your embroidery hoops. Once you get it tight on there, you can then like pull your drop cloth and kind of move it around and make sure it is straight. Now we're going to embellish our drop cloth. I'm going to use this swoosh stamp from IOD. So it's kind of like a cursive letter stamp. Now this stamp is a little more complicated because it kind of has the swoosh. So you have to do the letter separately. Instead of like spelling out the words and then putting the stamp down, you do one letter at a time. So I'm starting out with my middle letter, and I just put like a thick little notebook thingy behind my drop cloth so that I have a hard surface. Now you can just do this before you put your whole piece together, but I wanted to know like how big of an area I had. So I don't know, just for me, I thought it was easier to do the stamp after than before, as long as you're able to get something hard behind it. But you do it however it works best for you. And also, if it happens to not be centered, I haven't attached my drop cloth
to the embroidery hoop yet, so I can rearrange it if I need to, but I think I did a pretty good job here. It is pretty darn close to center. Okay, now I'm going to take my stapler. Since I am selling this piece, I want to make sure my drop cloth is attached to the embroidery hoop and it will not be coming apart. But I did some smaller ones, and this embroidery hoop was thick, so I was able to staple it. But for the smaller ones, I ended up hot gluing my drop cloth to the sides to keep it in place. And then once it's stapled in place, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut off any excess. So if you think I was exaggerating about my extensive collection of these things, I was not. These are just some of them. Mostly my smaller ones, and my bigger ones I have picked up in the attic. They're so cheap at the thrift store, I can't pass them up, but I've got to do something with them. So I want to pick out 2 more things to do on this video. This one already has a piece of fabric in it that I must have used for something else, so I think I'm going to go with that one. And then I'm loving this kind of oval shaped one with this piece on the side. So cute. So let's do that one. And I've been dying to try these IOD butterfly stamps. They are so pretty. I think they're going to be perfect on this project. I found a butterfly that fit perfectly in here, and what I love about these is they have the writing on the bottom. I just think that makes it look so vintage and cute. When you're using a stamp for the first time, you want to take a very light grit sandpaper and lightly scuff it, and that helps the ink adhere to the stamp better. Then you just ink up your stamp and push it down. Now this hoop was so small, I wasn't able to get anything behind it, so it didn't really come out as good. So I ended up taking a small piece of drop cloth and just stamping this piece before I put it back in the embroidery hoop, and I do love it with the drop cloth background better anyway. So I think for these smaller ones, I'll probably just stamp it first and then put it in the embroidery hoop. For this oval one, I decided to use the bee stamp. Now, if y'all haven't figured it out, because I'm just realizing I hadn't even told y'all what we are making. So when you put the 2 pieces of drop cloth in the embroidery hoop, you're creating an envelope that you can then put floral in. So you will see it all come together whenever I stage it at the end. But yeah, these are absolutely adorable. Now, I could not find the original post in the Julie's Designs and Signs Facebook group that brought on this inspiration, but I do remember them telling me that they originally got the inspiration from the Daily DIYer. So I will include her YouTube video in the description below. I absolutely love how these turned out, and I think just like the other project, you can embellish these in so many different ways. So I ended up making a few more of these. I did some plain ones that are a little bit smaller because honestly, this is the style I would gravitate towards, where it was just the plain drop cloth and I could add floral in, and this would work in any room in your home. And then I did a stamped one with a chicken. I think this would be so cute in a kitchen. I love how this came out. And you can also use the other farmhouse stamps. The chicken just fits perfectly in this embroidery hoop. And I am obsessed with these little bitty ones. Look how cute. That would look great like in Ren's room, how I have like the basket gallery wall with some embroidery hoops. I'll put a video of that so in case y'all don't know what I'm talking about. That would be so beautiful to just do different baskets and different butterflies. I love it. So if you recreate this, if you're loving this look, make sure you post pictures of what you're making in the Julie's Designs and Signs Facebook group, because I would love to see what y'all come up with. I am a little obsessed with these, if you can't tell. Good thing I have lots of embroidery hoops to go and work through.
All right, guys, so what did y'all think? Please leave a comment below and let me know what was your favorite project that I created today. And let me know if you would like to see more of these drop cloth projects, because I can totally make that happen. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all on the next video.
Thanks for watching, and give this video a big